Hello and welcome to Forever Rugby on Forever Sports for today's South Africa versus France 5 things watch video. A bit of a time to reflect on the performance we did see on Sunday, or 2 days later, so a bit more time to sort of take a step back and sort of analyze where the game was won and more to the point, what we learned from the game in terms of individual performances, in terms of team tactics, in terms of team identity, for example. It's sort of the global game, really, and sort of understanding where teams are winning and losing big matches and what sort of rugby in general is really sort of favoring in terms of the way people are using benches, the tactics, the set piece, for example. We're starting to sort of see trends as the World Cup goes by, and you start to learn what the best teams are doing right and what they're not, and what the teams are going out are doing wrong, for example. So it's always an interesting time. Obviously, it's just my takeaway. So I want to know what you thought about the game. I want to know what your 5 things learned and some of your takeaways are. But down in the comments below, let me know. It's always very interesting to get different perspectives, for example, and to understand how people can see the same game very, very differently. So before we get going, yeah, please do smash like the video. Please do subscribe to the channel as well. We're past 50,000 subscribers, so we're now en route to 60,000, 70,000, maybe even 100,000 one day in the future. But let's get going, shall we? So, in terms of number one, this one starting was justified. How good? I mean, during the week, a lot of people are saying, oh, you need to stop focusing on one player. It's not just about one player. And it's not. But when that one player is Anton Dupont, you can see the difference he can make. Absolutely phenomenal once again. Causes a lot of scare. We got a lot of nerves, for example, watching him play. Every single time he looked for a snipe, his distribution was good. His kicking is brilliant. He's such a world-class all-round player. And this French side genuinely are very different when he plays. Maxime Luchu is a brilliant player. He's a fantastic scrum half. But it's just a different level to the game when Dupont does play. And it was a bit of a risk for him starting, but I think it was pretty justified because I thought that he was world class. Number two, the Springbok set piece was a big asset. We didn't dominate the set piece, like for example the scrums. We weren't hammering the scrums the entire game, but we won some very crucial ones, and we used the set piece to such good effect. Opting for that scrum, for example, after calling the mark was a massive tactical decision. But it proved to be a good one. Our lineouts looked very good. I mean, we didn't manage to maybe affect the French line as much as we would have liked to, but our set pieces were pretty guaranteed this past weekend. That's a huge part of player rugby. If you're winning your set piece, if your set piece is fairly solid, doesn't you have to be massively dominant. It just have to be fairly solid, so you've got that platform to work off. I thought we had that this weekend, and that's going to be a massive thing going into the semi-finals as well. When you've got a dominant set piece or a functional set piece, it goes a long way to providing that momentum and the platform you need to go on score points and win games. A tactical masterclass from the Springboks. Every single time you think this coaching staff can't surprise you, they do it again. They are such a good brain trust there of innovation and of analysis. The way that they break other teams down and understand, right, this is how we beat this side, this is how we beat this side. And they can tweak the game plan as well as the players to suit those sort of small things. I mean, just as I said, that decision to scrum. It's a massive decision on so many different levels. First of all, obviously, Rusty Erasmus said there was a tactical thing. They said they've got a big pack, but they like to kick so much that they let them conserve their energy. They kind of sort of lumber around the middle of the park, don't do a lot of running. So they're saying, right now, they kick very deep. And so if we're going to mark it and say, right now, their forwards, front rowers need to run all the way back, scrum, and keep doing that, all of a sudden, France were kicking shorter, which kind of disrupted a little bit of their game plan. So it's amazing how they just find those sort of small areas just to sort of change the game a little bit. And yeah, you can see they do all the analysis, and it was a really interesting decision. But the entire game, certain parts of it, certain team selections was tailor-made to try and beat France, and it worked in the end. So yeah, but then you'll sit there saying maybe things got things wrong, but you can't live on if buts and maybes. We had to be really, really good. We're always going to have to be close to our best, if not at our best, to beat France. And I genuinely think there was a lot of tactical news that went into that game that resulted in us getting that victory. The quick tap, for example, just certain sort of aspects. Moni Liebach and the up and unders, they were clearly targeting areas of the field and certain aspects of the French defense, which we did manage to exploit. France would have been deserved winners, right? So I'm not saying they deserve to win, or should have won, and Springboks didn't deserve to win, but I think it was one of those games that genuinely could have gone either way, and I don't think as a neutral you would have been felt it would have been unjustified if either side win. France are a phenomenal team; they really are. They've lost Unai Tono, for example, and Romain Taufifenua. They've announced their retirements earlier today, so there will be a bit of change in this French team, and I'm sure they'll start sort of bringing some new players. Fabian Galtier is there for, I think it's like till 2028 or something silly. He's got a very, very long term contract. So at this stage, he's not going anywhere. And I think it's a special French side. You know, I think that they come the Six Nations in February. I think that they'll be up there with favourites next to the likes of Ireland. And I think that had they won and they would have gone to semi-finals, I don't think too many Springbok fans would have sit there saying, "Well, they don't deserve to be in the semi-finals." They played well enough to win, but yeah, there has to be a loser on the day, and they were on the wrong side of the coin. And then finally, Springboks bench remains the biggest weapon. Yes, it wasn't your traditional bomb squad in inverted commas, but I think term bomb squad has moved away from the 6-2 in some respects. Obviously, that is the bomb squad as we know it. You know, that's 6-2, the 7-1, for example. But I think the biggest thing that we need to take out of this is not so much the way we do the splits, but just the impact the bench has in general. We've got a phenomenal player depth, and we've got a phenomenal variety in players, and that allows us to be able to pick a 5-3, but be able to put in the Quacker Smith, for example, who often only gets picked in the 6-2, for example, as the cover for a backline option. He was there as a out and out forward this weekend, not worrying about backline cover, and he was superb. I think that that bench provides so much energy and makes such a big difference, especially the way we use it, the way we deploy it. It is one of the biggest reasons the Box are so strong in that second half, is because of the way they use that bench. And that's why I feel that as long as you're within a try, even at 10 minutes to go, I always feel that the Box have got a chance because that bench can, if affect games, and they can force the issue and change results. So those are my takeaways. Let me know what yours are down in the comments below. And yeah, I want to know where you guys differ. If you agree, if you don't agree, let me know down in the comments below. Smash a like on the video. Do subscribe to the channel if you are new. My name is Steve. Thank you very much for watching. I'll chat to you soon.